Barbara Keys, and I'm here to show you how to use a Lucet fork. And these are Lucet forks. They've been used through the centuries to make cords of different widths and needs. You could use a Lucet cord or braid to tie up articles of clothing, and I'll show you an example. We have, from the 1600s, you would have coifs to wear on your head, and this would be pulled with a drawstring in the back with a cord. You could also tie up your clothing, your cuff closed, with a drawstring, a cord. Later on, perhaps, or for decoration, you might use a thicker braid, and in that case, you'd have something of this sort. This is a sleeve that would have a decoration of a braid. This has black so you can see, or this nice thick one that would be trimmed that way. And this would give detail to your, or distinction to your clothing if you wanted to add it, because everybody was making their own clothing. I made a little pilgrim hat with a little piece of the braid just to have it, because they would have had braid around their hats, and so I used a little piece that I had done up. All right, just that. All right, we shall begin. Now, what you can do, you'd say, well, why do I want to make a cord? You could use it to make a friendship bracelet of a sort. You might have to put keys on it, or you could use it as a plant hanger. You could make the cord in a different thickness and wrap it around a pot to have a flower pot. You can think, your imagination is unlimited. You can do what you please with this. This is the fork that I'm going to use. My instructions say to mark one side as the front of the back, and I've chosen to put a little face here that says, this is Lucy, my Lucet. Now I'm going to start with a good sized yarn. This is a cotton crochet yarn that you can use, and you can buy it anywhere. This is a large spool of it, but you can buy a nice small any place. You could go to Walmart, you could go to Joann's, Michael's. They would have sugar and cream cotton thread. So you'll take your hook. I'm going to look at the front, and I will put it through the front of my hook. Now, I am right-handed, so I will show you using my right hand, and we'll demonstrate later on what to do, how to do it with your left hand. All right, we're going to take the thread, and I have my work over here. I can put it on the ground, or I can put it anywhere that's comfortable for you. I'm just going to roll around. And I'm going to go to the right, over to the front of the left. I'm going to make what is called a figure 8, and you can see that this way. And then I'm holding it taut with my left hand in the back. I'm going to pull the bottom thread over the top, the loose working thread. And then I'm going to pull. I'm going to turn it over towards my left. This is counterclockwise. So I'm going to turn it towards my left hand, the shoulder. And then I'm going to take this one, lay it across that, take your bottom thread and place it over the top again. And now, in the beginning, it might be kind of tight, and you'll say, I can't do this. Well, you can. And you'll figure out the tension and how you need to do it. Over it goes, flip, and pull over the top, pull taut, turn over, pull over, flip, pull over. This, all you're doing is repeating this action. You're pulling it, you're making a knot. It's a square braid that will culminate at the end of this. And that's what you're essentially doing. And you'll pick up the rhythm the more you do this. It looks like it might be difficult. It is not. Over. Remember to pick up your bottom thread, and it goes over the top of your fork. Pull, pull, over it goes, pull, over it goes. And you're just churning it all the time towards your left shoulder. You'll start to get the tail coming through as soon as it starts to get a bit longer. And that usually is how it will be a little bit easier for you, is once you've developed a little tail to pull at instead of tiny, tiny little work. The thicker your cord, the thicker your braid. If you have a nice big fat one, when you get a little bit handier with this, you can experiment. Do what you'd like with it and just find out. It's fun to get how people used to use these things and do it all the time. They'd be sitting someplace where you'd be watching television or on the computer, and they might be doing this instead, having a conversation with their family or whatever. But this would be kind of a way to pass time, and then you had something to present afterwards. You had some result. I'm going to do it a little slower because I don't want to be too fast. You can see where your work is coming from. It goes through over here. You can see it going through the loop. You're going to take this bottom one, pick it up, and put it right over the top. And then pull on that. See where I'm making a knot? Turn your fork, lift, over it goes, pull, turn. Pull, over, turn. And don't be afraid to feel like that you're pulling your knot too tight. Pull it so that it feels comfortable. And I say that, but you'll have to do it a few times before you say, oh, this is it, before you pick up your own rhythm. Over, pull tight, turn, over, pull. That's all that you're doing for this, is just making knot after knot. And it happens to be a square knot or square braid. Now you can use different colors too. A pretty yarn to use might be a rainbow color, and then you can see the variations as you work along. This is an ombre. It's variegated blues. And the cotton, you can use anything. A very thin thread you can use. You can use yarn that you have around it in the house. The only thing I would not recommend using would be a very a wool type of a yarn that might come apart. If you can take your thread and pull it like this and it doesn't come apart, it will be adequate to use in the Lucet. All right, so right there I was saying, where was I? You can see my work coming right out. It goes across. See? I had just put that down. If you were, you can kind of follow your work. Once you get used to this, you can say, oh, here I am. Over. Yeah. Pull. Turn it. Over. Pull. And I turn at the same time. And I should be more slow with you, I guess. Over the prong. Pull the knot, and I'm flipping. You're always turning the fork. And this will become second nature to you. The instructions that we'll give you in the packet are very good, and you'll be doing this in no time. Yep. Now I'm going to show you how to end it off, because you have to end it at some time. All right, You're going to take the piece that's attached to your ball of yarn, and you're going to cut it. Now, you're going to take your end, you're going to put it down through your right hand side. Put it right into here. Pull it through, and then lift off that piece. That piece of yarn loop will go right over, and then pull it tight. And then you're going to take the end and put it on the left hand. Put it down through there. Are you seeing that? Goes right into there. And likewise, pull that off and pull it tight. So that ends it for you so that it doesn't come apart. So you won't be having it unravel. If I didn't end it that way and loop through my loops with the end, then it would just, you actually could use it, say you didn't like how your work was. And you'd say, oh, that's kind of messy. You could take it off if you didn't end it like that and pull it apart, and it comes right apart for you. So this is a little piece that you could use wherever you want, whatever you could use it for. There. Put your thread through the front, or Lucy, and then rather than go to the right, you go to the left. Make your figure 8, and then you're back to your left side. You're holding your work in your right hand and holding that back thread taut with your right hand. Now this is if you're left-handed. And then you're going to take your left hand and lift it over the prong, pull tight, and then rather than turn counterclockwise, you will turn clockwise. So this goes to my right shoulder, and you see how that thread lays right across? So now I'm going to take my bottom thread and lift it over the prong again. And you continue with your work just that way. Whoop, this one's giving me a little trouble. Pull. You can tell I am right-handed. And then I'm going to turn clockwise, and then I would take my bottom thread, pull it over, pull, turn clockwise, take my bottom thread, pull over, pull that taut, flip. Now you can see where your thread is going in that direction, as I said. And then over the prong, pull it tight. Flip. Now you should start seeing a tail here. See, it's coming through the little hole. Pull tight, turn, take your bottom, pull it up over your working thread, pull it tight. Oh, where'd my little tail go? Now remember, this time you're turning clockwise, not counterclockwise. And you can see my tail coming through. Bottom, over, pull. Bottom, over, pull. Bottom thread over the top, pull it tight. Now we'll see our little tail. There we go. All right, and you can follow your work, as I say. You can see where the thread wants to go, right across. Over we go. There. Now we're cooking. Pull. Remember, this is left-handed.